Alaska is as large as it is beautiful. The state's comparably small settlements, such as commercial-minded Anchorage and the tucked-away state capital city, Juneau, with no road access, are overwhelmed by a huge, uninhabited wilderness. While these cities have a variety of sights and activities to see, Alaska, often known as the last frontier, is still famed for its vast outdoors. Alaska is home to some of the country's largest state and national parks, as well as some of North America's most enormous wilderness areas. Hiking, kayaking, fishing, and whale watching are just a few of the activities available to appreciate these natural wonders. Other commonplace activities include bear watching, rainforest exploration, and boating. Alaska's cities and towns have a distinct cultural attraction. There are various museums and other tourist attractions in these adventurous base camps. They also provide insight into the communities that have lived in Alaska for thousands of years, such as the Alaska Native Heritage Center in Anchorage. Wherever your sightseeing takes you, Alaska's scale is likely to impress. With our list of Alaska's top attractions, you can learn about the greatest spots to visit in this ruggedly beautiful state. 1. Denali National Park. Denali is the United States' third largest national park, covering North America's highest mountain in the northern section of the Alaska Range. The native name for the 320 feet summit is Denali, but modern explorers dubbed it Mount McKinley. For nearly a century, the mountain's name was a point of contention, but in 2015, Denali became the official name for North America's highest peak. Regardless of names, the national park's 6 million acres are breathtaking. Wide river basins, tundra, high alpine ranges, and glacier-draped mountains are all photogenic settings. The park is located roughly halfway between Anchorage and Fairbanks and is easily accessible by train. Only park-approved buses are allowed to proceed beyond Savage River due to a single route leading into the park. Weather permitting, views of Denali can be seen from the park road. Near the park entrance, there are a few short, well-marked trails. Experienced explorers, on the other hand, are more likely to trek into the park's trailless wilderness. Grizzly bears, wolves, reindeer, elk, and other creatures live in Denali. The park is home to more than 167 different bird species. The sled dog kennels, which give demonstrations and are home to dozens of lively huskies, is another favorite among the park's many attractions. 2. Tracy Arm Fjord. Tracy Arm is a fjord south of Juneau that is surrounded by glaciers. Waterfalls cascade down the cliff faces, while glaciers calve, forming miniature icebergs. It's a popular cruise ship and boat trip location. The fjord is located in the Tongass National Forest's Tracy Arm Fjord's Terror Wilderness. The Sawyer Glaciers are twin glaciers at the head of the fjord. On tours, sights of wildlife are common, whether it's a brown bear or moose on land or whales and seals in the ocean. Tracy Arm is only a small part of Alaska's glacier viewing. Glacier Bay National Park, northwest of Juneau, and Prince William Sound, near Anchorage, are two more popular tourist destinations. Several tour businesses in Juneau, such as Adventure Bound Alaska, provide inexpensive day trips with unimpeded views of the natural wonders. 3. Kenai Fjords National Park. This national park, which protects part of the Kenai Peninsula's fjord-riddled coastline, provides some of Alaska's best sightseeing. The park's panoramic views include the 700-square-mile Harding Icefield, several glaciers, as well as a deserted coastline. In addition, the national park is home to enormous brown bears that eat fat, rich fish. Many tourist options converge in the surrounding areas, including the end of Highway 1 in Homer. A popular means for entry into the park are the Alaska Railroad and the Seward Highway, both ending in Seward, near the park's northern boundary. The only area in the park accessible by vehicle is Exit Glacier, where several trails offer closer views at the end of the ice field. 4. Anchorage. With a population of slightly under 300,000 people, Anchorage is Alaska's largest metropolis. Because of its size and accessibility, it is frequently used as a departure point for those flying into Alaska. Anchorage International Airport is located here, along with a huge number of hotel rooms and visitor resources. Anchorage is also an excellent place to start because of the many experiences available in every direction. This city is next to the magnificent Chugach State Park, which spans approximately 500,000 acres. The 470-mile Alaska Railroad, which is based in Anchorage, is a popular method to go from Anchorage into the vast landscapes for more experiences. It's also not necessary to leave the city's center in search of adventure. The Alaska Native Heritage Center and the Anchorage Museum are two popular municipal attractions. Also, for a beautiful 11-mile bike ride without having to travel far, head to the Tony Knowles Coastal Trail. Rental bicycles are accessible all across town. 5. Alaska Highway. The Alaska Highway, also known as the Alaska-Canada Highway or Alcan Highway, goes from Dawson Creek in British Columbia to Delta Junction near Fairbanks in the Yukon Territory. It was built in a record-breaking 8 months for military purposes in 1942, during World War II. The road has been the most important land route to the Yukon Territory and southern Alaska since the war's end. It's also a popular destination for RV travelers. The roadway begins in Whitehorse, Canada, and ends at Delta Junction, Alaska. After crossing the international border, motels, shops, and gas stations are spaced 30 to 50 miles apart. The Alcan Highway is generally easy to navigate, though commuters should pack appropriately because part of the route passes through isolated areas. 6. University of Alaska Museum of the North. The University of Alaska Museum of the North, in Fairbanks, houses over 1 million historical and natural history objects. The permanent collection comprises ethnological artifacts created and used by Indigenous peoples, as well as a fine arts collection focusing mostly on Alaskan art. There are also prehistoric archaeological artifacts, a collection of birds, and paleontology specimens in the collection. The museum's physical location is also important. Joan Serrano created the White Tower, which features fascinating lines and curves that mirror the Alaskan scenery. The museum is free for university students and professors, and the public is welcome with a fee. Visitors are encouraged to explore the museum at their leisure, and larger groups can call ahead to get a personalized tour. 7. Inside Passage. Southeast Alaska's Inside Passage is a series of sheltered waterways and straits. The most popular way to see the fjords is to take a trip on a large ship, charter boat, or private yacht. Stopping off the highway in Haines, Skagway, or Hyder is another option. The Tongass National Forest, which spans 17 million acres along the coastal passage, is home to islands, mountains, glaciers, ice fields, fjords, and waterfalls. Prince of Wales Island, one of the largest islands in the United States, is part of the forest. The Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian peoples also live in the area. Skagway, with its Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park, Sitka, once the capital of Russian America, and Ketchikan, with its Totem Bight State Historic Park and the Totem Heritage Center, where stoic totems are on display. 8. Alaska Railroad. The Alaska Railroad, known as the backbone of the last frontier, is a significant element of Alaska's history and remains a critical mode of transportation. This railroad, which runs from Seward to Fairbanks, assisted in the development of Anchorage from a tent town to what it is now, and it played a key part in World War II shipping. The Alaska Railroad is now owned by the state and transports over 500,000 passengers annually. The Chugach National Forest, Anchorage, and Denali National Park and Preserve are all popular stops along the way. Backcountry ski packages and kids' Halloween train are among the many routes, services, and special event rides offered by the Alaska Railroad. 9. Dalton Highway. The Dalton Highway runs for over 400 kilometers through Alaska's far north, eventually arriving in Prudhoe Bay. It was developed near to and in connection with the Trans-Alaska Pipeline and is accessible from Fairbanks and Anchorage. Outside of oil field personnel, the route is incredibly remote, rugged, and poorly trafficked. With both the gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve and the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge flanking the wayside, well-prepared sightseers have a reason to navigate the lonely highway. The Dalton Highway crosses the Arctic Circle at its northernmost point, where the summer solstice gives 24 hours of daylight and the winter solstice brings 24 hours of darkness. A personal vehicle isn't the only way to see the Arctic Circle. Bus and airline tours depart often from Fairbanks and Anchorage. The Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights, which shine on many nights from September to mid-April, is a popular incentive to visit this northern latitude. Taking an aurora tour can keep visitors toasty during this cold season. 10. Alaska Native Heritage Center. The Alaska Native Heritage Center enables hands-on involvement with music, people, and art, in addition to providing an insight into the lives and values of Alaska's 11 primary ethnic groups. The Heritage Center is a location to visit to engage with the community and participate in programs and events, in addition to providing interpretive information. Just outside of Anchorage sits the Heritage Center, the gathering place, which has Alaska Native dancing and storytelling, and the Hall of Cultures, which features exhibits and local vendors selling handmade items and works of art, are also included. The grounds also include the picturesque Lake Tialana, which is encircled by traditional Alaska Native homes. Despite its location outside of downtown, there is a summer season shuttle service from the modern Anchorage Museum at Rasmussen. 11. Mendenhall Glacier. The Mendenhall Glacier, located 12 miles northwest of the state capital, and accessible by road, descends from the 1,500 square mile Juneau icefield to the beaches of a tiny lake. The Mendenhall Glacier Visitor Center offers views of the glacier as well as the iceberg-strewn waters, With trails leading to the thundering Nugget Falls and the massive ice mass, visitors can float among the bergs by rafting or kayaking. While exploring this magnificent blue terrain, wildlife such as black bears, porcupines, and beavers are frequently seen. Between May through October, when the weather is more likely to be sunny, is arguably the ideal time to visit. On wet days, though, the glacier is even more enjoyable to visit since the ice takes on a different color of blue. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.